Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends! It's time to make the donuts. Do you remember those commercials from Dunkin' Donuts? I do when I was a kid. If not, you're probably way younger than me. Today we're going to be in the donut shop making these beautiful donuts, ready to eat, boxing them up and selling them. Today we're taking a look at Donut Shop the game. It's from 25th Century Games from designer Jeff D. Allers, one of my favorite designers. So let me show you how this game works. I'll see you on the other side. In Donut Shop, you're going to have 4 donut tiles like this that you're going to be placing out into a grid, but you're also trying to set them up so that you're going to be getting different orders and boxing them up. And sometimes you'll want orders with extra sprinkles for money. Sometimes you'll have coffee with them for extra, and sometimes they'll just be standard bonuses like this. Now the game starts with this big thing here in the middle here with some donuts that sort of seed the board. This is a community board that all players will be using because on your turn, you're simply going to take a donut tile. You'll have one of these. It'll be secret just to you, and you'll place them somewhere, and you need to place them sort of in a grid like this. You can't like go like that. You can't overlap. So I might do, now if I did something like this, I pick one donut type here and I score them by getting 5 cents per donut that's contiguous. So if I say blue, it's 5, 10, 15. I made 20 cents. If I said this type, it'd be 5, 10, 15. This one would just be 5 because it's by itself. Now if I did that, I would get this, let's say blue, 5, 10, 15, 20. Now that would be great because I'm getting 20 cents. But one of the huge parts of this game strategy-wise is you don't want to leave things open for others because the next player might come in and do this, and now they've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They sort of just got more than you, but they also left this open for another player to get possibly more if they have a blue donut, right? So you've got to be careful. So instead of doing this, you might do something, either way. So if I did this, well, I'm still getting 5, 10, 15, 20, but I've still left this open for other players. So you're trying to figure out ways to possibly, set yourself up. Let's say we did do that. And then the next player did that and things like that. And so they're going to be getting points for doing that, or money, if you will. So let's say the player that just placed this, after they got their 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 cents for those blue donuts, they want to box something to sort of cut this off from other players. Now everyone starts with a box that's like this. It's 4 donuts. And they could box this. They could box like this. They could box it like this. But everything that you box, you need to have an order card for. And so if I want to box this just like this, I would need to have a blue one like this and a sort of lemon one. Now, because I'm boxing all these, if I did it here, I would need to have blue and I would need to have sort of the Boston cream there. So let's say they had these 2 orders, they would box this up and they would get 20 cents for it. But you know what that did is it cut off everybody else from getting those blue points from just placing, right? Another thing is this card had a special thing, 10 cents for sprinkles. So in addition to getting this 20 cents, one of these had sprinkles, I'm actually gonna get an extra 10 cents, so I'm gonna get 30 cents. And these would get discarded. Now here's a really interesting part of the game. After you place your donut tile and then optionally box them, you get to get 1 donut tile and 1 order. And this is really cool. First of all, from a production standpoint, this thing is so cool. It has the donuts. It looks like it's right in the trays, like you would in a donut shop. It has all of the ones back here. This is a napkin holder, and these are essentially donuts on napkins that are going to give you your orders. But it gives you a good choice. You can either take either of these ones face up, or either of these ones face up. So you might go, oh, I really want the Boston creams. Oh, but I really want the Boston cream order. You've got to decide which one face up here or one face up here you want. If you take one of these face up, you must take a face down one like that, and you don't know what that order is. But instead, if you're like, I want this, then you take a face down one from there. So you're always getting one thing you know and one thing you don't. Simple mechanism, but it works really well in this game. Now, I show that everyone starts off with a 4 box for 20 cents, but there's all these other boxes too. These are just in a general supply, and when you want to use them, you just take them and box things up, assuming you have the right order, the order cards. So we have here, which is a half dozen, so this would box 6 of them for 30 cents. An 8-pack for 40 cents, a 9-pack for 45 cents, a 1 dozen for 60. And money in this game are coins and tokens like this. That's pretty much the game. But let's show you one more aspect to some of these cards I mentioned have coffees on them. So let's say I box something up that had these 2 types of donuts. Because I'm boxing up with 2 coffees in the orders, I'll get 15 extra cents. However, I might have boxed up something that had these 3 donuts in there, and now I'm gonna get 25 extra cents because I have 3 of them that have coffee. That one's really hard to do, but sometimes you wanna wait a little bit longer to be able to box things to set things up, but that might mean other people might box them in front of you. And the last thing I'll talk about is that when you're boxing things up, you can always use 2 of the same type of donut to be a wild donut type when boxing things up. And some of the donuts have donut holes, which are also wild. You can have this be wild when placing and have it being a wild different donut when boxing. That gives you some flexibility as well. That's pretty much the game. You're gonna play until the tile stack or the order cards run out. You play one more round. Whoever has the most money at the end is the winner. All right, first of all, this donut shop absolutely knocked it out of the park. Great production. This game just looks so beautiful on the table. The nice stands where they have all the donuts there, the nice stands, the napkin holder. Sure, it's a little bit to put it together for the first time, but the box is big enough that it stays in there assembled, so you only have to assemble it once. I like that. But the game itself, it's just so gorgeous. It really draws you in, and quite honestly, it probably moves this game up a full point on what I think of the ranking because it is just so beautiful on the table. I like that you have a shared tile grid. So you have this thing, lots of interaction where you're playing a donut tile, but somebody else can be playing one next, and you're all sort of working on this thing, and there is a ton of interaction. One of the biggest strategies in the game is, look, you're getting 5 cents for every matching one from one of the donuts that you place. But what you're doing is you're putting in there, and then you're trying to piggyback off what someone else is. Someone might go, oh, these little blue frosted donuts, good. I just got 8 of those. It's 40 cents. Someone else might go, well, you left one on the edge, and I got one of those tiles, and I'm going to put one there. Now I'm going to get 9 of those for 45 cents. So you're piggybacking off others. So what also you're trying to do is piggyback off someone else, but rotate your tile or make it in a way that you're cutting other people off, so they're not going to be able to get that big of a score next turn. I like that. Or you're trying to put it there and then box it up real nice so that they can't get in there and get those. This reminded me a lot of another game from designer Jeff Dialers called Gloomy Graves. It was originally produced as Roll in the Sea in Europe. Gloomy Graves is another game that has some similarities to this, where you have this main grid where you're all interacting, you're all getting points, but then trying to cut each other off once you're done with your points. Really interesting, lots of interaction there. I like the face up and face down tile or order card. At the end of the turn, you're like, hey, I'll take a face up, I want that donut tile, and I'll take a random order. Or you're like, oh, I really want that order, but I gotta take a face down tile. It's a simple decision, but it's so streamlined. It keeps the game moving. It keeps the analysis paralysis down, but it gives you a tough choice. Which one do you want more? Do you really want that or you really want that? You can only take one thing that you know you're getting. I love that. The pushing your luck for special orders. So sometimes you have the orders with sprinkles and coffee. They give you extra points. And sometimes you might have like, oh, I can get 2 coffee. Do I try to get a third one to get the extra money? Or am I worried that somebody else might box it up before me? So you got that pressure luck as well. This is a great little family level game. It's light, it's breezy. It's one of those games that you can sit around and talk and chat with your friends, but at the same time, you're still thinking, you still have some good decisions to make. It's about perfect for what you would want a family game to be. On the negative side of things, I don't have a lot of negative things to say here. The only thing I would say is I thought it was a little strange that the game's 2 to 4 players and you only remove 2 tiles and 2 order cards at the beginning, period, regardless of the player count. The 4-player game felt about right. I felt like I got about a right amount of turns. Lower player count, especially 2, it felt like the game should have ended a little bit earlier than that, maybe a few turns earlier. Not a huge deal. I'm kind of nitpicking here because this game, I can't fault it for a lot, but maybe a little bit more scaling. That would be easy to house rule if you also feel the same way. But overall, I think if you're looking for a nice little family game that you can play casually, but still have something to think about that's interesting, that looks beautiful on the table, has lots of variability, and has lots of interaction, I think you're going to want to check out Donut Shop from 25th Century Games. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and if you missed their 4.0 Kickstarter, you can still late pledge and take advantage of over 40 unlocked stretch goals and early fulfillment. This campaign featured a new Young Sherlock table, perfect for children's gaming, and movable coffee table, 10 new thematic mats by top artists like Vincent Dutray, a new designer art series Minecraft topper with thematic art from Brent Woodside, and some of the best package deals they've had, including game mat bundles. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below to late pledge now.